Hi, everyone. Let's wait a few seconds for attendees to join in.
Well, let me first share the slides so everyone knows what this session is going to be.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Applying for a U.S. Student Visa live session. We will begin in just a moment. If you have any questions for our speaker during the session, please write them in the live chat, and we will answer as many as possible at the end. Okay, Phi, you can now begin.
Great. Thanks, caller. So my name is Phi Tai with Wichita State University, and today we're going to talk about things that you need to know about applying for an F1 student visa. Well, I will make it in a simple 4 steps. The first, you need to have your I-20 form that includes your CVIS ID, and then you can apply for a visa and you schedule a visa interview, and the result can be an approval or denial. So the first thing is that you need to have an I-20 from a school. The I-20 includes 3 pages, and it has a lot of important information. When you get your I-20, you need to check. First of all, on top, it has the CVIS ID, and this is the number that you need to use to pay for your CVIS fee payment. And then make sure that your passport name is consistent with what's listed on your F1 I-20. And then your day of birth, sometimes you put it in a wrong order. And also, you need to know about your program start date because you can apply for a visa up to 120 days before the program start date listed here. And also, your I-20 should be signed by your school official. And when you received it, you should also sign your I-20 at the bottom and date it here. Then when you get your I-20, so you need to pay your CVIS fee, which is you need to fill out a form called the I-901 form, and you will pay $350 for it. You will also need to complete a visa application form that is called DS-160, and you pay the visa application fee. So the application fee is different from country to country. It can be around $200 or $150 or something like that. Then you can schedule a visa appointment. So let's move on to see what you need to prepare for your visa application. So to fill out your form, you will have a valid passport, which means that your passport needs to have at least 6 months until its expiration. But of course, it will be better if you have a longer expiration day. And the other thing is the Form DS-160 confirmation. So after you complete the online form, you will receive a confirmation. And you will also need to pay your visa application fee, and you receive a payment. A photo that is according to the specification listed in the visa application form. You need to have your I-20. You also need to have additional relevant documents. For example, your admissions documents. If you receive a scholarship, the scholarship letter, and any kind of documents issued by the school that you receive admission to. Also, your own academic credentials, so your test results, your graduation diploma, or your test scores. If you took the SAT, you took TOEFL, IELTS, bring all of that. Your financial proof documents, your bank documents, or your parents' bank documents. All of these can be useful during the visa interview. Now, during the visa interview, the consular officer will interview you. And the interview is going to be very, very short, probably just 2 minutes, but it could be a long wait time. And also, during the interview, what you need to do is to establish that you meet the requirements under the US law to receive a visa. So here you need to understand that you are applying for a student visa that is an F1 visa. And the student visa's purpose is for you to go to America to study. That's all. You're not going to go there to work. You're not going to go there and stay or with an immigration intention. So unlike other visa application, US visa officer always assume that everyone who applies for a visa want to move to the US. So your job is to tell them that I have no intention to stay in the US at all. What I want to do is simply go to the US, get my degree, and after that, I will go home. So that's it. And so you must convince the visa officer that you are not trying to immigrate to the US. Now, notice that having a student visa, you are allowed to work. That is completely legal, but you should not try to avoid talking about work. For example, in my university, Wichita State, we offer a lot of job opportunities to students, but try not to talk about it unless the visa officer asks you. But normally they would not ask you about it. So if you are asked why, the next slide actually will tell you some things that you can prepare for. So the preparation for your visa interview, you need to know about your institution. So you need to know about your program. You need to know about the schools, where the school is, the city, the states. How is the city like? How is the states like? What is your study plan after graduation? What do you want to do? And what are the job opportunities in your home country after you earn this degree when you go home? And the other things are your financial support. So here I need to elaborate a little more. So if you go to, you should go to the school's website to find out about the institution. So I'll use my school as an example. So Wichita State is famous for its engineering program. So when a visa officer asks you, why do you choose Wichita State University? And you will say, because they have really good engineering program. And you can also say that because it's a very affordable school. It only costs $30,000 for everything in a year. And so you want to know about your program. A lot of students come to us as, studying computer science, aerospace. We are very famous for aerospace engineering. And Wichita is the largest city in the state of Kansas. But like I said, we have a very low cost of living, and that's why our students choose us. So these are all very compelling reasons for choosing the school that you want to go for. And then when you study your study plans, so basically you're telling the visa officer that you want to go there to just study and earn your degree. After you graduate, you want to go home. Even though it is completely legal for you to stay after you graduate to work for a year or even longer, but you should not talk about it. You can also talk about what you have received a scholarship from. For example, we offer a scholarship that is good for 4 years. So this is something that you can talk about. And also job opportunities. So computer science is now a high demanding job, not just in America, but in many different countries, especially during COVID. So you can talk about that and say, oh, do some research about your home country's job market and say that, yes, I know that I can get a job with high pay after I earn a computer science degree from America. So come home, I'll be making this much money. So this is something that you can talk about. And if the visa officer asks you about like, so how are you going to fund your education? In that case, you can talk about like, yes, my father is going to fund me, or my grandparents are going to fund me. So make sure that you have enough money to support your education. Do not say something like, I think I can work when I'm going to school. So never talk about that. There are some webinars organized by Education USA to help you prepare for your visa interview. So check on the Education USA in your home country. So then, and look up their webinars. And some agents, they prepare, they have visa preparation work to help students or sessions to help students prepare for their interview. So this is something that you can also check on. And then, so visa results. Of course, it's great if you're approved but or denied. So what are you going to do? And also, there is a situation called administrative processing. When the visa officer will keep your passport, they won't tell you that if you are denied or if you are approved. All you can do is just to wait. Now, the reasons for visa denial is that you show intention to stay in the US after graduation. That's why I said never talk about you want to stay in the US and work after you graduate. Or sometimes you find that visa officers do not believe that you have sufficient fund to support. So this could be a reason, or there's documents, for example, your name or your date of birth is not correct showing in your I-20. So that's also very important that you need to check. You don't properly behave during the visa interview or like I mentioned, administrative process. So what you can do is just to wait because you don't know the results. And there's no definite length of wait. And if you are denied a visa, you want to reapply for a visa. So you want to prepare new documents, new financial documents, new I-20. So make sure that you contact your school to get a new I-20. And then submit a new visa application and pay the visa application fee. However, you do not need to pay the CVIS fee again within 12 months. So I think I have gone through some key points about visa application, and these are some important links to help you prepare and get more information about how to apply for a visa. And then now I will leave most of the time for Q&A. Any questions? I'll leave the slides here in case any students have any questions.
Thank you, Phi. We do have a couple questions.
Sure.
So the first one is a student saying that they got denied a visa last month and they would like to know the options available.
Okay, so there are two things that you need to know. First, what semester are you applying to? So for example, if your admitted term is spring, so January, and you are denied last month, that means there's still time for you to apply for another visa interview before the semester starts. So in that case, you don't have to contact your school to get a new I-20. Instead, try to prepare enough documents and proper documents. Sometimes visa officer wouldn't even tell you what the reason, why did they deny your visa. So basically, you really have to think about what you have told the visa officer, and if there's any tricks. Or for example, last time maybe, because now all of the I-20s are emailed. So perhaps your printout isn't that great. So you want to print, you can ask your school to send you an I-20 by post so you can get the original documents. So that's one thing. And then just try to figure out and think what made you get denied. One of those reasons, like I mentioned, most common reasons, one is your intention of staying in the US or work in the US. And the second most popular reason is funding. I have seen some visa officers will trick the student and say, what if your father lost his job? What are you gonna do? And then there was a student said, well, I guess I can try to find some scholarship and I can work to continue my education. And it's a big no-no. So that I feel like this is a trick from the visa officer. In that case, you will have to say, well, my father has some savings, but if he really doesn't have money to continue to support me, then I think my option would be going home and try to seek if there's some online courses for me to continue to finish my degree or something like that. So this would be my answer to this visa denial question.
Thank you, Phi. So we have one more question at the time. Feel free to keep sending your questions if you have them on our chat. In the meantime, a student is asking you to share some example questions that they will ask during the visa interview?
Sure. So during the visa interview, most common questions are, why do you go to this school? So again, I will use my school as an example. Why do you go to Wichita State? What major are you taking? So why do you choose this school for this major? Do you know where Wichita State is? How are you going to go to Wichita State? Do you know how long your program will be? What do you want to do after you graduate? No, what do you what do you want to do after you graduate? And what is the job market in your country? So for example, we have students who are doing nursing program from Africa. And then so they need to know that, okay, yes, I know that I want to go to Wichita State for a nursing program. I know that it is a very competitive program. So if I can graduate and get a degree, nursing degree, coming back to Kenya, I can easily get a job because I will be able to speak English really well. I can work for those even private hospitals. So I know that this is a degree that I can get and help me get a good job after I come back to my country. And they will ask, how are you going to fund, who's paying for your education? Who's paying for your tuition? In some cases, some students' parents, they have they own a company. So in that case, it's even better. So you can say that, yeah, I'm going to Wichita State to study accounting so that when I come home, I can help my father to run his business. So these are the common questions that visa officers will ask.
Thank you so much, Phi. That's very helpful. So we do have a couple more questions.
Mhm.
A student is asking, how do they start their visa application?
Sure. So going back to how to start. So when well, you can actually start as soon as you receive your I-20. So like I said, now the I-20 is sent by email. So what you need to know is your CVIS ID. And also, because if you apply to more than one school, you will receive, let's say you apply to 2 different schools. So you will receive 2 different I-20s and you will get 2 different CVIS IDs. So you will have to choose which school that you really want to go and then use that school's I-20 to apply for your visa. And use that corresponding CVIS ID to start your visa application. So my slide that gives a short processing. Use your CVIS ID and then fill out the form. Usually your school will give you some links to tell you where to start. But if not, I'll show you in the last slide, the links to go. So you pay your CVIS fee, that is the first thing. And then you complete your visa application form. The visa application form is really long. It has a lot of questions. And then if you don't know the answer, you can always contact the school that issued the I-20 to you, and then they can tell you the answer. But it also asks a lot of questions about your family, your background, whether you have family members in the US and things like that. So complete your visa application form and then remember to pay the fees. So in different countries, they have different ways to pay, but always for example, in one country, they said that you can go to 7-Eleven convenience store to make the payment. The key is to keep the receipts. So these are the things that you need to prepare to complete your visa application and schedule an appointment. Now, during COVID, a lot of embassies are showing that they have a really long waiting time. For example, in Nigeria, it may be showing 200 days of visa interview. And then you will be thinking, well, there's no way I can go. So what do? You still go through the regular visa application and then get an appointment first. And now that the US government, US embassies, they take emergency visa appointments for F1 students. In that case, after you receive a visa appointment, you can request to change your appointment to an emergency appointment so that you can get your appointment before school starts. So that's how you apply. And then, so the documents that you need to apply the visa application, I have kind of gone through. And then one of the very last slides that show the links, those are the links you need to know to help you prepare, to help you apply for your visa application. So you can always go to US Department of State student visa. This is where you can start. It tells you how to apply for a student visa. So hopefully it gives you, I answer your question about how to apply.
That's perfect, Phi. Thank you. Very helpful. So our next question is, do I need to be accepted to a university before applying to a visa?
Yes, absolutely. Because like I mentioned, if you're not accepted by a university, you do not have an I-20. That means you do not have a CFIS number. So you will need to have an I-20 from a school to start your visa application process. I can change it, my answer a little bit. So if you're asking about a general visa question, can I apply for a visa to America? Yes, you don't need to be admitted to a school. You can apply for a tourist visa, but this is not the purpose for you. So if you already have a tourist visa to the US, but you want to come to the US to study, you will need to apply for a student visa because your purpose in the US will be changed from being a tourist to being a student. And there are different restrictions, or I would say probably benefits for you to have a student visa. But if you want to study in the US, you do need to apply for a student visa. And for that reason, you will need to be admitted or accepted by a school and receive an I-20 to start your student visa application.
Perfect, thank you. And if a student already has a tourist visa, will that help with the process of obtaining a student visa?
Yes, usually it is helpful, especially if the student has been to the US and returned home. That shows that you have a stronger tie to your home country. So it does improve your chance of getting your visa, your student visa approval. Also, there's some other ways, well, some of the reasons usually you can get visa approval, you can have a higher chance to get visa approval. For example, you put a deposit to your school, that can improve the chance. And the other one would be like I mentioned, if you have been to the US and then you return home, that is definitely a plus because you show a good history, good record to the US visa officer that you are going home.
Great, thank you. We have kind of a long question now. So a student is asking, having my high school diploma from the US helps getting my visa, or does it show that I studied high school with a US curriculum or homeschooling, and now I'm going to university there, show that I want to stay in the US in a way?
Well, I think it could be a kind of tricky. It really depends on how you answer the questions. So also it depends on what country you are from. So in some countries, let's say Japan, Malaysia, Singapore, there's very few students who show immigration tendency to the US. And that's why, and it's very common for those students to come to the US to study in the US since high school, and then they continue to apply for a university. But if you are taking US curriculum in your home country. And then the thing is that how are you going to reply the questions from visa officer asking you like, okay, why did you go to US high school, high school with US curriculum? And if you said, well, obviously, if you are able to attend a school in your home country that offers US curriculum, I think your family's financial status is pretty sound. So your family has this financial support to send you to the US to study. And but the good thing is that, look, I've been in my home country taking US curriculum education, planning to go to the US to earn my degree, but I will come home because I know I love my country, my family is all here, and I think I can find a job coming back home. So that would be my shorter answer to this long question.
Thank you. We do have a follow-up question. They're asking if it would help having it.
It would help having, the question is incomplete.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. sorry, a bit of a mix-up. So I'll read another one.
Okay.
So they're asking if the visa is linked to the university or if they could change schools later on.
Yes. So like I mentioned, if you receive admission, you receive an offer from 2 different schools or even 3. You have to decide which one that you want to use, which one you want to go to the US, and then you use that school's I-20 to apply for a visa. So, and it will show if you get approved, your visa stamp, you will get a visa sticker, and then the sticker will show the school name over there. In that case, you should stick with that school and then you go to the US. But can you go to other schools? Yes. So this is something universities don't like, but I mean, this is completely legal. Let's say if you receive an I-20 from Wichita State, and then you use our I-20 to get your visa. After you arrive, you decided that, well, I want to go to a community college because they are cheaper. So you still need to contact the university that you use the I-20 to apply for your visa. Because in that case, after your visa is approved, your CVIS record is tied to the school. So you need to tell the school that you want to transfer to another school, so that this original school will release your CVIS ID to the new school that you want to go to. So that is completely possible, and it is actually legal to do it.
Thank you, Phi. Sorry to interrupt you. We have one more question before the live session ends. So a few students are asking, what is the best answer if asked why I want to study in the US?
Why I want to study in the US? Well, I would say that, for example, many students will say that it will give me better exposure to the culture, or to the education, or you can say that American education is really, I can't say this is the best, but some examples that I have heard from students. American education will allow me to come back home and find a good job. There are multinational companies here in my country. If I can earn a degree from America coming back, I have a better chance to work for these companies. I know that Google has an establishment in my country, and I want to work for Google here. Facebook has an office here, or different other companies. I'm just using some of these examples. So you can always tie to job opportunities back to your home country. So that tells the visa officer that you really want to come home.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Phi, and thank
Sure.
you for joining this session. If you'd like to ask Phi more questions, feel free to chat directly with her,
Mhm.
or please visit the Wichita State University booth. See you at the next session. Thank you, Phi.
Okay.